Well, hello, ladies, gentlemen, and internet trolls, and welcome to Fan Fridays, the show where I give outsiders an inside look into the mind of an MLB All-Star. If you've ever wondered what I think of the automated strike zone, stay tuned because I answer that question and so many more right after this little intro. All right, for question number one, Kathleen Spencer wants to know if I've seen Clevenger recently, and if so, what have we been up to? Unfortunately, I have not seen Clevenger recently. I haven't seen him since the trade. I saw him the day after I got traded. We went to brunch, lunch, something like that, kind of mid-afternoon snack before he went to the field and before I went on my way. But yeah, haven't seen him since then. We are planning to get together this off-season. Just my schedule's been so busy, and he's been training, and we're on opposite sides of the country, unfortunately. So I have not seen each other yet, but I assure you when we do, it will be all over social media. Don't worry, you won't miss out. With question number two today, Mike Lemon says, Trevor, I feel as if this could be a big year for you and for the Reds. Do you feel the Reds have the overall talent to win the league, or do you think, like most, that the Reds are 2 to 3 position players away? Well, it always helps to add position players. It always helps to add quality talent and guys in the clubhouse. I think everybody on our team is very confident in the guys that we have. Had some guys that had really big years last year. Gino went off, hit a bunch of homers. Aquino came up and kind of made a name for himself. We got a really good group of pitchers, had a big turnaround in the staff. So we're all very confident with the direction we're going, and we certainly would be open to adding some more guys. Our goal every year is to assemble the best team, have a lot of fun, make the postseason, win the whole thing. So whatever the front office thinks that needs to happen for that, we're all for it, and looking forward to getting to spring training and get going. It's the most fun group of guys I've been around, so really looking forward to that. Question number 3 on the day comes from Terry Banks, who asks, what are your thoughts on the possibility of the automated strike zone coming to MLB in the future? And I have a lot to say on that. I think first off that the hitters would absolutely hate it. There's so many pitches that like nick the edge of the strike zone, or here's a great example. Imagine Chris Sale throwing from way over here towards first base, and he's throwing this huge slider that breaks a ton. It's a nasty pitch, and it's gonna just barely nick the bottom right corner, if you're looking from the mound, the bottom right corner of the strike zone to a lefty before it goes and bounces somewhere in the right-handed batter's box. The catcher's probably going to be sliding over there to block that, but it's going to be registering as a strike. That doesn't seem like it'd be too friendly for hitters. And I'm generally more a fan of leaving the game how it is. I think it's a great game as is, and if you start trying to change it too much, you lose some of the, I guess, the soul of the game, the history of it, and the ability to compare to past generations. With that being said, I am about getting it right. So it's a complicated issue, but I do think it would benefit the pitchers more than it would benefit the hitters. All right, Ryan Kaffenberger has question number 4, and he wants to know, what about coming over to Cincinnati made me feel so comfortable? There's a lot of things. I knew some people. I've known DJ and Caleb for a long time. I've known Sonny Gray for a long time. So having some people there that I knew, that I could talk to, that I had a history with, that kind of welcomed me in and showed me around was definitely helpful. The clubhouse culture is kind of built on letting everybody be themselves and embracing that and celebrating for it, and then finding ways to work together and accomplish what we want to accomplish as a team. And that's something that all teams try to do, but something that I haven't really experienced before, where everyone's kind of that close. It was really refreshing and eye-opening. It was great talking to David, and he welcomed me in, sat me down in the office. We had a great conversation one of the first couple of days I was there, and that really kind of springboarded our relationship into a good area, and something where I was comfortable walking in and talking to him and just shooting the breeze like another one of the players or another one of the guys. So he made it super easy on me, and really just everyone on the staff. I mean, there's so many people that go into a day-to-day operation on a team. I mean, you have clubhouse staff that are helping out with getting you equipment and washing the uniforms and all that, and they work really hard, and all those guys were great. And you got the chefs, and you got the training staff, the strength coaches, the massage therapists. There's just a ton of people, and the Reds have a lot of really good people around. So that was a breath of fresh air for me coming over and getting to be a part of that. And I'm looking forward to helping try to build that and welcome in new guys this coming year. Question number 5, Zach Ryan wants to know, are Bauer units applicable at youth levels? And for those who don't know what a Bauer unit is, it's spin rate, so RPM, over miles per hour. It's just kind of a normalization. He says he has a 12-year-old who threw 52 miles an hour with 1,300 spin, which equals 25 Bauer units. And he wants to know, is that good or bad or not applicable? And he says it was measured with ball tracker, pitch tracker app, something like that. Lots to unpack here. So Bauer units were really created to compare pitcher to pitcher on the skill, I guess, of spinning a baseball. RPMs are going to increase a certain amount with each additional mile per hour. So it would be unfair to look at someone like Aroldis Chapman and just look at his gross spin rate versus a guy like maybe Josh Tomlin, who throws 10 miles an hour slower or 15 miles an hour slower at times. But when you look at the adjusted spin rate, the Bauer units on it, you can see that Tomlin is usually a lot better at actually spinning a baseball, or he can apply more energy into the spin of the ball than Chapman does per mile per hour. And the reason for looking at it that way is if you have a prospect or a kid coming up, you can kind of say, oh, well, this kid's really good at spinning a fastball, spinning the ball, and if we increase his velocity, then he'll have an elite tool. Now, it doesn't scale perfectly linearly, but it's pretty close. So you get this nice kind of slope where you can track and say, okay, I'm kind of in this 25 Bauer unit range, and if I add 10 miles an hour, that'll mean I'll have a gross spin rate of such and such. And it's not perfect, but it gives you a good way to compare, especially when you're looking at people, kind of multiple pitchers up against each other and trying to determine who's better at actually spinning the ball. And because it's not perfect, it's not exactly linear, then the margin of error in the measurement apparatus that you use probably doesn't matter. Probably gives you a pretty good idea, and that's kind of how you look at it. Question number 6. Joshua Esposito wants to know if I see a need for jobs in the baseball analytics department in the future. He says he plays baseball and is thinking of what to major or minor in college that will give him a valuable background for possible baseball analytic jobs with professional teams. The easy answer is absolutely. There's a ton of need for it. Great industry to go into. My suggestion on the best way to get into it is to publish a bunch of your own work. Find something that you're really passionate about. Anything really. I mean, just research something, find your passion, and publish it. Put it out there publicly. Let people know that you're out there doing it, that you have this passion, that you're looking at it this way, and this is what you're finding. Just document the whole process. That's really what teams are looking for nowadays, is someone who's a self-starter and who can kind of think critically and find their own kind of route to getting to the problem. They're not looking for people that just are going to take orders and, hey, look at this. Okay, I can do it. That doesn't really matter to them anymore. They want someone who can think critically. So anything that would challenge you in those areas. Learning how to code is a great idea. Learn as many coding languages as possible. Learn how to analyze large data sets. I mean, we have 200 or 300 pitches per game over 5 seasons now, I think, of TrackMan. So it's just a massive data set on pitch analytics. Same thing with hit characteristics of batted balls and stuff like that. There's so much data out there. Just learn how to manage big data sets and learn how to code, and then find your passion and document the whole thing. That would be my suggestion. Question number 7 comes from Miles Enos, who says he's 12 and takes pitching seriously, does a lot of strength training, and has good location and command. He feels like it's time to dabble with something besides fastballs and changeups, and wants to know what's the first nasty pitch for movement that he should play with or develop. That's a great question. I think at 12 years old, it's still super important to throw hard and develop your delivery. The fastball is still the most important pitch you can develop. Learning how to throw it hard, learning how to throw it healthy and often, and all the things that go into that. So I would say definitely focus on your fastball. The changeup is always going to be a great pitch for you, so don't lose the feel for that. recommending throwing any other breaking pitches doesn't sit too great with me because I don't know who would be around to kind of teach that. If you have someone that knows how to teach it and can teach you the proper way to do it, throwing a cutter would work, or throwing a curveball would work. You could throw some other stuff. But if you have someone around that's going to teach you the wrong way, and unfortunately there's a lot more people that teach the wrong way than the right way, then you're going to end up in a position where you might be putting yourself at risk. So it's hard to say. I'm definitely going to try to get up some videos soon addressing this in more detail and really teaching people the right way to throw it, so you have a resource for your question. But as of right now, I would say probably try to stick with a cutter. It's just a slightly offset fastball. It'll give some different look to the hitter. But you have to keep in mind that at 12 years old, pitchers are still way ahead of hitters. Hitters are getting good at being able to hit the ball, but they're still super inconsistent with their swings, super inconsistent day to day. And as a pitcher, if you can throw hard and throw it over the plate, you're still going to be pretty good at that age. Now, on my end, I did start throwing a curveball when I was 11, I think, but I had some people that really knew how to throw it and really knew how to teach it that were teaching me, and I was fortunate enough to learn the right way and to have those resources. So I'll try to get that up for you soon, but for now I would say probably look to throw a cutter, and stay tuned because I'll have some more information coming for you. And that's all for this episode of Fan Fridays. As a quick reminder, these videos are only possible if you get involved. The more questions I'm asked, the more I answer, so if you like this video, tap the like button, share it with your friends, encourage them to drop their questions in the comments below, and if they want a shout out in a future episode, head over to trevorbauer.com, sign up for my email list, and submit your questions on the homepage. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next week for another Fan Friday.